Only ranking them based on M6 R5 for standard characters, standard A ranks. And then S ranks, I'm going to try and judge them at an M0 without SIG level. Try to. I'd say try to, because most of them I have got SIGs for. So it's going to be kind of rough to rank them at that, but I'll make an attempt. Based on strength, perceived, whatever for them. Their elements, whatever. Because, you know, I will be ranking them based on how they perform in their elements. So while some characters might work better with another element, that's not going to help them here. This is mostly for characters, anomaly characters most of this hurts, because you can't trigger disorder in a mono element team. Only exceptions to this are, like, of course you've got your Yanagi allowing disorders over there, and you've also got your Miyabi. That out of the way, let's you know, actually get started. MBs and also Unity releases probably. Yeah, also Unity releases. Yeah, each one which releases, yeah. Ambi's probably high C as a stunner for electric. Not on the electric account, no. I think she can work as a decent battery. I think especially at the moment on your trigger Soldier Zero teams, she can work pretty well. I'd say she's probably actually about low B, mid B actually. But thinking of it actually, just because of the energy funneling she can do towards that team, she can allow your trigger to have more uptime, plus you can have a lot more uptime on your skill on your Soldier Zero as well. Kind of a bit more damage there. Plus in the early game, before you have access to those two, she can work really, really well for your Anton team that you're going to be running instead, probably. So yeah, she can be decent. Pretty good. Middle of the pack character, decent standard character, decent starter character, worth investing in for a mono element. Nicole. Discord? Beef Gaming. The reading can't be stopped, that's fair. Nicole's probably one of the best free-to-play supports, especially on like an Aether account. She's really, really good for an Aether. Sure, you are stuck with her for quite a while. Sure, you're stuck with just her for quite a while. But she can perform alright and get you to the point where you can get your other premium options for your account. And then she performs really, really well. I've been having decent success running her as like a sub DPS at the moment, because it isn't that great options for a sub DPS for only an Aether account. She does do really, really good damage when invested. Plus her defense shred is really, really noticeable. She's pretty good actually. Billy. Damn. Which one do I put him in? I think with the release of Pulchra, I have to put Billy here. This is just because Billy benefits the least from Pulchra as a stunner compared to the other two DPS options you have on a physical account. He's fun. I like Billy as a character. He's probably my favorite character in the game, but that doesn't mean he's that good. Like, there's just so many better options than Billy in the game, even on a physical account with basically only like 1.2 characters plus Pulchra. So it's sad to put him this low, but he just doesn't provide anything even at max investment. Nekomata. This is at M0 level, so I'm gonna put Nekomata down here actually. At M0 level, Nekomata's, again, not the strongest DPS. She's also just not that good. At M0, she gets a lot of buffs from her Mindscapes, but like extra energy, extra damage, I think. But at M0, without a SIG engine, she just is not good at all. Because she just got so many small things she just doesn't have access to. But It's unfortunate, but I think I'm actually going to do rank Corrin as well quickly. I'm going to put Corrin here. Corrin's the best of the three, with like, because Corrin would have M6, R5, has Necromancer M0. Corrin's probably the best of the three physical DPSs, but that's not saying much. They're all not the greatest. They don't really do that much in terms of like damage and stuff, but you've got to use one of them on a team, and you know, she's the best investment for the cost, just because she works well with both Pulchra and Caesar, as they can stun for her, and then she can do decent damage during the stun window, and they can allow decent stuns. Soldier, I mean, Soldier's a better DPS than Nekomata. As I said earlier, probably the best probably the best DPS that's not from banners. It's not from limited banners. Her fire suppression does really good damage, especially when buffed. Problem's just scaling nowadays. You know, it's been a while since she released, and she just can't keep up with some new premium options. Like, sure, if you invest in a good team for her, she can still keep up, but that isn't necessarily coming down to her, per se, on the fire. That's more so the supports you can have for her that help buff her up. Grace. I think Grace is like... I actually don't know where I'd put Grace. As a shock DPS, she's alright. I say I'm gonna put her here. I'm gonna put Grace here, probably below Soldier. Her main thing is allowing Yanagi to have more uptime on her disorder without needing as much energy investment from Yanagi, is the main thing Grace does. Because she can use her stuff, because she can build up shock quite quickly without needing that much energy to do so. And then that will allow your Yanagi to proc disorders a lot quicker without it, kind of thing. Other than that, she can perform alright as like a carry character, but it's not the best use of her. You're more going to use her alongside Yanagi, with Yanagi being most of your damage. She's just there to add supplementary shocks. Shocks just so you don't have to waste as much energy on your Yanagi. Ben. Is Ben better or worse than Billy, I wonder? For a monofire account. Probably better, because at least he's got a shield. You know? At least he's got a shield that you can make use of and stuff, you know? That will help you a little bit. And he's your only shielder. Yeah, but so does Billy. I know there's nothing but... Yeah, but so does Billy at most points. At least I guess? Yeah, I guess so. No, I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna put him above Billy. Just because there's a couple enemies that Ben has an alright matchup with. The main one being the Shield Max. Not the boss version. He has a good matchup into the mini Shield Max, because his perfect parry interrupts them. I think it also interrupts the fire resistant one as well. That's like the main thing Ben can do. Plus like 10% crit rate and extra, you know, like a little bit of shield and stuff. Like the main things he does, with a little bit of debuffing as well. Which, doesn't... It's alright. He does decent damage with R5 Engine. Does like a bit of a damage of R5 Engine. More than Billy, I'd say, but at times, depending how you build him. But yeah, no, they're both not the greatest. Speaking of not the greatest... he's probably better than Cat, right? He's probably better than the Cat, right? Like, he can do some damage. He can do some damage and build well. You know? He can actually output some damage. Because his Mindscapes help him quite a bit. What? It's extra crit damage he gets? He gets a shield, which isn't great. He gets energy, extra skill levels. Plus, his engine's really strong at R5. Yeah, I'd say he's better than Cat. Cat when max. Because it's an A rank, considering him at M6 R5. So yeah, he's probably better than the Cat. Cat, considering those factors. So the energy depravity can be fixed. Yeah. His energy can be fixed with Ambi, especially early on. He is definitely good, especially early game. Up until you get that second good DPS option, he can be really, really worth it. And with good investment, he probably is better to run as your secondary main DPS over Grace. There are times when you could run Grace, depending on the Shiyu, but you're probably running Anton as your second main DPS for a team, up until you get another good damage dealer. This is considering if you started when Haru was free, you know, so you're gonna have Haru as your main damage dealer for one team, but yeah. Kaleda, I'm gonna put her above Grace. Put her above Grace, because if we're in the context of an element-only account, you know, each account has limited options for stuff, you know? Because, like, while Kaleda, everyone says, oh, but she's competition with both Lycon, Lighter, and stuff, and, like, Chingy and stuff. In the context of an element-only account, actually, I'm gonna put her above Soldier. An element-only account, she hasn't got as much competition. Only competition being, of course, the Lighter, but you need two teams, so, you know, Kaleda can be your stunner for another team, and you can have Lighter on another team, you know, they can both be good characters for your account. She stuns decently well, she doesn't need Ben to stun. Of course, this might change once Jufufu releases. We'll have to see and jiggle the list around again, because I will update rankings when Jufufu releases, as this is something I want to try and do at the end of every patch, you know, or near the end of every patch, like about a week or so after the next second banner kind of thing releases. So we'll see from there when she releases how Kaleda does. Alright, next, Rena. At M0 she's below Nicole, I think. At M0 she's below Nicole, just because her uptime isn't the greatest. She sometimes struggles to keep her dolls on field, is the main thing. She hasn't got the greatest uptime on her buff, because during stun windows you're gonna run out of that buff and you have to switch it in during a stun again at N0, which is unfortunate, but there are ways you can play around it, but it's just an annoyance that you've got to work around. Like, her pen buff is still really, really good to allow you to shred enemies, and she can also work pretty well alongside a shock team, but it's not the greatest option on Mono Electric. If you're running the Mono Electric, just because you're only doing electric damage mostly, there isn't much reason to extend the duration of shock, especially if you're running her alongside Yanagi and stuff. You don't really need to extend the duration of shock just because you're going into Yanagi and immediately removing the shock, basically. Oh no, it doesn't. I mean, no, actually can work alongside Yanagi, actually. No, I'm sorry. I'm misremembering how Yanagi works. Yanagi doesn't remove the shock. Yanagi just triggers the sword up if there's shocks. So no, she can work alongside Yanagi and like have more shock duration plus final energy into Yanagi. So no, she can work alongside Yanagi. I just forgot how Yanagi worked. So yeah, I'm still probably put her below Nicole, but she's a really, really good support. Damn. We're just going supports, huh? God, there's so many good supports coming up. Damn. Lycon's got more merit now. This might seem crazy, but Lycon's got a lot more merit this patch. Lycon's got a lot more merit this patch, being the only stunner that the ice account has. Plus, he shreds resistance of the ice. Yeah, Hugo's stupid with him. He's quite actually the only character that works with Hugo. This bumps him up a lot. Okay, again, please remember, this is in context of a mono-element account. If you're playing normally, you can run Lighter instead of Lycon, but he's your only option for a mono-ice team with Hugo. Which gives a lot of merit for him. Sokaku's also really, really good for a mono-element account. Like, oh my god. I'm gonna put Sokaku top of A, actually. I think Sokaku is top of A. Top of A. Not quite S, top of A. Probably, like, near the top of A. Fly the Flag, Ice Shred, attack 1k attack buff. There are... Mostly because of comparing to other characters with other elements as well. Seeing how much she provides for her element compared to them. She does really well, especially with Miyabi teams. But that's kind of hard to judge it based on Sokaku. Whereas, is it just Miyabi? Being Miyabi, you know? She is still really good. Good attack buffs, good energy, can be built with Anomaly, because her build up is really, really good. I really don't know, Jolly. I really don't know. I haven't tried. I can't test that. I'm sure there are people that I'm sure there are people that would know that better, that can actually properly tell you how that would work. But you also might want your lighter elsewhere anyway if you're playing normally, you know? If you're playing normally, you might want your lighter elsewhere anyway. So you can use Lycon to free your lighter when you're playing normally. Lucy. Probably above Rena. Is she above Rena? Is she above or below Rena? I'm gonna put her above Rena. I'm gonna put her just barely, just above Rena. Her attack buff's really good. She can do good damage. She's a good secondary damage dealer if you run her with crit and stuff, especially once you get your M6. Those 4s do a lot of damage. Especially. Good attack transfer. Do you want Rena? Yeah. Yeah, she's really, really good attack buff. Really, really good supplementary as well. Especially because she works for almost anyone. Any character that you want to run her alongside, she can work well with them. So yeah. Hyper. Damn. Is this another D tier? Is this another D tier for Piper? Is this more D tier? I'll reshuffle the list. We'll do some fine adjustments at the end of the list. But I think... Does she have more or less merit than Anton? Lucy could fit, but yeah. Yeah, I guess Lucy probably fits better. Because she's got power. She's got her power stacks as well. She's got a little bit of utility in her power stacks at M6. Plus she has grouping utility and can also mostly, I believe, up until floor 6, she can two-shot the waves with her spin, which she can normally get 2 procs of assaults in there during a spin, especially for starting energy. I think floor 6 and 7 it's 3 hits, might be 4 hits floor 7, which she really struggles to get, but she can work alongside other characters. Yeah, probably low C, probably camps out the C tier at the bottom, you know. Yeah, this is fine actually. We can fix it later if you like. Ellen. I'm gonna put her below Ambi. There's just better options nowadays for the ice. For ice. Actually, no, I'm gonna put her in C. I'm gonna put her just below Kaleda, actually, just because there's better options. I think that's something important as well to consider for this ranking as well, is the options you have for the element. Because Ellen is your last pick DPS right now. Nah, she can go B. I'm so torn, because she is still pretty good. No, she's better than Soldier. Yeah, no, she goes in B. She's better than Soldier. She's better than Soldier, I'd say. You're not going to use her that much if you have access to the other two DPSs for Ice. But she can still work without. She can still work. She can still work pretty well for Ice as a damage dealer. She does good damage, especially once you know how to use her properly. She can maintain decent damage uptime, decent on-field damage, especially in and out of stun. You can do both probably. So it's not that bad, not the worst. You. She goes low B. She goes low B. This is because of a lack of a stunner. Yeah, because of a lack of a stun character, she can't get that extra 40% damage increase that well. So she's missing quite a bit of damage for herself. Like, sure, you've got those times where you can still somewhat stun, but it's not that often, it's not that consistent. Her damage uptime is really, really bad without those options. So, until then, she's probably going to be low B. Until a new physical, an Aoife stunner releases that can work pretty well with you on, I imagine she's not going to move that much from here. Seth. I think Seth goes below Grace. Does Seth go below Grace? Actually, no, I don't think so. I think the biggest issue for Seth, I'm gonna put him just above G1 actually. Biggest issue for Seth, in main game, is opportunity cost. For Seth, you know. You have so many other options you'd rather run on a team than Seth, if you're playing the game normally, kind of thing. But when you take into consideration limitations of a mono account, Seth kind of becomes more appealing. Because you haven't got many good buffers on the electric account. Don't consider him as a defense unit. He's more of a support unit. He's more of an anomaly support unit kind of deal. If you consider him that way, he's really, really good actually. He's got good stunning he's got good, decent stuns, so he can help stun the enemy if you need that. He's got good interruptions. He can pass a shield that gives an anomaly buff. I believe it's plus 100 AP, right? It's like plus 100 AP, which is really, really good. Plus, you can build him with impact, but you're probably going to run him basically max attack. I am max attack with some crit damage on electric, because you're going to try and get the most damage you can out of his big hits. Switch him out and go for your disorders with your disorder team. He's a decent secondary or tertiary DPS for that team. So, for that, he's alright. He's alright, I'd say. Qingyi. Where do I put Qingyi? Above or below Lycon? Pretty below, right? She's just flexible for the account. She's flexible for the account. She can work with both your main damage dealers and make both of them pretty good. Even if you have Trigger, you can run her alongside Trigger for your Soldier Zero team. You can also run, instead of them both, you can run Hara Master instead of Soldier Zero. or you can, you know, swap Garrett Trigger, run her Arena, like, there's a lot of options. She's got flexibility. She also just really helps for most of your damage dealers. For that account, because your lack of supports, other than Rena, you're kind of relying on stun for more damage, other than like a little bit of extra stuff. But without much investment, you're more relying on stun. Yeah, the stun pool and electric is pretty nice actually, I will admit, you are right. But you know, I'd probably put her here. She's pretty good. Helps a lot for the account. And has also got good grouping as well. That's a good consideration that you've got to remember for Qingyi. Her grouping is also really good. It's a small thing, but especially in some Shiyus nowadays, how tanky the enemies are, you kind of need them to be grouped up to deal them quickly. She's one of the best options. She can get in there and group them up pretty quickly. Jane. I don't want to do this. I don't. My heart knows where she goes. No, my brain knows where she goes. My heart doesn't want to. I have to put her here. I can't in good conscience put her higher. I can't put her higher. She just does not keep up. Yeah, that's fine. She just doesn't do enough damage, whatever nowadays. Physical just does not have the damage output that it needs. She's the best damage dealer on that account, but even then, it doesn't do much. I hate doing this though. There is chances she can work a lot better later, but also a chance she just doesn't. Bernice. I think Bernice goes just below Soldier. Soldier's your only real character you're gonna run Bernice with. So Bernice can only really be as good as Soldier. Soldier is kind of thing. Because there isn't really a good reason to run Fire Anomaly. It doesn't do the most damage. You're more using it as a supplementary anomaly in the base game for disorders. So that's out of the question. Main thing you're going to be using Bernice for is as a secondary DPS alongside triggering your Inferno Medal. Is it called Inferno Medal? Can't remember. But triggering the fire set bonus for your Soldier 11. Having better uptime on it. There are better options for a Soldier 11 team, but Bernice can help maintain uptime on that buff, so she's alright for that. But that's kind of the only thing she can do. At least at M0. Caesar. I think without Sig... No, because Sig only affects her stunning, and only affects her shield time. It doesn't affect her buff. It's so hard to rank Caesar here, just because she's so much better than all the other options on physical, that it makes it hard to figure out where to put her. I'm gonna say bottom of S for Caesar. She's the best character on physical by a landslide. Attack buff, she makes almost all the characters do something. High A, yeah, I can do high A. Yeah, we can change high A, fine. Change high A, will probably go here, actually, yeah. She's still physical, that's true. She's still way down by physical, yeah. Yeah, even though she can do like stunning and attack buffs, she still requires the other characters to do something. Like, she can't hyper carry herself. I think that's the biggest problem with Caesar. is that even though she's so good, she can't hyper carry herself. The others don't do enough to make Caesar the greatest, because, like, you're not going to get the hyper carry out there somewhat. Support, the damage is the problem. Yeah. As a support, she's amazing. The damage is the problem. 100%. This is probably going to be the hardest ranking. Just because I haven't played her yet. I, in theory, have a good idea of where she probably goes. I'm thinking, like, here. Think better game? Yeah. Thinking, like, here. Just because she probably works pretty well alongside Seth and Grace, making a pretty good disorder team, which would probably be a pretty strong team comp, especially in most anomaly metas and stuff. I just haven't been able, I'm not able to test it too much right now. This is where I'm kind of leaning to put up, maybe above Caesar. I don't know, somewhere around here though, I'd say. Just because she can probably carry that team comp alongside shields and stuff. I'm gonna put Yanagi here. Lighter. I think over most supports, Lighter's going pretty high. Probably above Chingy. Just because the extra stun time helps quite a bit. With some of your damage options, you get a lot more damage in that stun window, alongside the shreds. You can help out some of your characters quite a bit. More uptime, more damage uptime, stuff. I guess the biggest issue is, like, if you're trying to, you lose out on the amount of stuns you can get for, like, the amount of chain attacks in a stun, just how long the stun lasts, but that's rarely an issue, if at all an issue. That's like a small nitpick. It's like, it doesn't even matter too much. There's like 3 seconds extra stun window, sorry, 5 second extra stun window, which is actually quite a bit, which helps a lot. So it's like an extra, what, 50% damage, depending on the enemy. Especially against some enemies with, like, really, really small gauge stun bars. That's amazing. Like, against the doppelgangers, that extra stun duration is, like, almost double the amount of the actual stun window time. Just how little that actually lasts. It's kind of crazy so far that almost no DPS are, like, high level, high tier. But that's probably about to change with with a lot of characters coming up, because best character in the game. There's no debating this one, I don't think. She is a storm that is approaching, yeah. There's no debating this one. She's probably the best character in the game. Sure, without her engine, she's a little bit tamer. Sure, you're probably running her on, like, Makoto is, like, probably the best option you can run if you don't have her engine, because you want the extra crit rate and stuff. But that's only a little bit of a shackle on her power. Even then, everyone else is weighed down by no engine, so that's, again, still evens out in the end for her. Without the extra unit, nuclear bomb affects a smaller area. Yeah. Yeah. This is... Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about with Miyabi, other than she just kills most things. Haru. Probably top of B? But yeah, probably better than Ambi. Yeah. I think Haru probably caps out the B tier. Because he's a character that relies on especially the first Mindscape to become a little better. Plus his engine helps him a lot as well. Haru's kind of iffy at M0. But he's probably still one of your best options as damage dealer. Probably your third best option for electric, but still pretty good. Still a pretty good option to do stuff. Astra. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Best support in the game right now, I'd say. Best support in the game makes the Ether count solo team combat really, really strong. Solo team combat is really, really good with Astra, especially synergizing with the last character we're going to be ranking for that element. She helps a lot with that in terms of proccing of Loom for Vivian, which I'll go more into when we actually rank Viv. But also the attack buff just team-wide, and then allowing chain attacks and stuff. Just really, really good. Evelyn. Right, I'm kind of thinking A for 8D, yeah. I'm gonna put her above Nicole. But Evelyn's kind of the reason why Kaleda ain't D tier. Because Kaleda can do something alongside Evelyn. Where instead of just being a character that exists to stun, if you're running Kaleda and Soldier. Button tier, yeah. Yeah. Evelyn allows you to free up your lighter to go alongside your soldier team, which is really, really nice because it allows your soldier to keep up a little bit better with your Evelyn, because Evelyn does a lot of damage, especially if you can chain properly with Evelyn, but it's not gonna carry you without playing well somewhat. Soldier Zero. Probably below Nicole. She's in the point where, for a little bit, they start releasing a couple characters that kind of needed their engine to help them a lot. This mostly came in with, like, Aftershock characters and stuff. Mostly for her Trigger and stuff, the main two victims of this. Like, really have, also Miyabi, but we don't know about that one. So you use that on a lot of stuff like that. Without it, she's still alright. She can still do pretty well. Still definitely your best option for damage. You know, still definitely your best damage option, especially doing combo stuff for her. She just doesn't break HP bars in half like some of the best DPS in the game can right now. But she's still alright. Yeah, you also probably might need more Aftershock characters to work. Yeah. Trigger. Probably the best stunner on electric. A little better than Chingy, just because you don't need her to be on field to do anything. So it frees up your main damage dealer or a secondary stunner kind of deal. So because she can make Chingy better, she can make Ambi better, she can make Soldier Zero better. Only one she doesn't necessarily make better is like your Haramasa or like your Anomaly comp, where you don't necessarily want to stun as quickly, stun as much maybe. But yeah, because she can come in. I make Anton worse. Yeah, I guess she can make Anton worse because you don't have as much, because you'll be stunning more. She'll be using Anton's energy up a lot quicker, I guess. Is that what you're meaning? Because you kind of want to have one big stun window with Anton. Kind of want one big stun window and just burst like most of your energy in one stun. Whereas you've got Anton on field. Yeah, I can see that. Get shred more. Yeah. I don't know where to put Pulchra. I think she's probably just below Jane. I think she's just below Jane. She's alright. Stuns, eh. I think she goes D. I think she's going below Seth, actually. Thinking about it. I think I'm going to put her below Seth, actually. Because she does a little bit more than Jane. She can start and allow a little bit more damage from your other options. Problem is, of course, your damage options aren't the greatest. The combo of Caesar and Pulchra is why I rate Corrin higher than Nekomata and Billy. It's probably the best damage dealer you've got on physical. Just because you can stun decently quickly, the two of them. You can stun decently quickly. Main issue is your assist points. Which, yeah, it's kind of an issue, but if you can stun quick enough, you can get your assist points back, so it should be fine. And then you can shred with Corrin's Chainsaw a lot more, but this mostly comes down from Caesar and Pulchra being the driving force of that stun. Viv. I honestly don't know. I don't know between A and S. It's hard to tell. I'm gonna play it safe with Vivian. For now, I'm gonna put her here, I think. For now, I'm gonna put Vivian here. Just because I think it's more so... I don't know. The Bloom does good damage. I'm gonna put her above Nicole, actually. The Bloom does good damage, especially combined with Astra. Astra can outproc a Bloom. But no, for Mono Element, feels a lot weaker. She still does alright damage. She's definitely the better of the two damage options you have for the Aether. The main thing is, of course, keeping your feather stacks for getting the damage in there. But this could change with Yishuan. So I am kind of trying to play a little bit safe where I'm putting her, because she could become pretty decent alongside her, because she could maybe trigger some disorders and allow disorder comps to somewhat work. Just depends how much build up she's gonna have and stuff, because it might just end up being like she's a supplementary damage, like sometimes triggers disorders and stuff. Who knows? Hugo. He's relatively new, but he also hits like a truck. Now, I think his biggest issue is, of course, the fact your only stun option is Lycon, but that's somewhat fine. Top of A, bottom of S. I'm gonna put him bottom of S. I'm gonna put him on bottom of S. Go for bottom S. Yeah. His damage mostly comes from Lycon's stunning. But he helps a lot in that comp as well. It's like 25% extra stun. Because of how Daze works. Serotonin stays. Yeah. Because of how Daze works, the more days an enemy has, the more days they take. Which is kind of important to consider. Because it means you're starting off quite far into a stun gauge at 25. Because it might... Of course, 25 seems like a quarter. I think it's more like it's 33% of the stun bar. 25% is. Because of how the stuns work, it's kind of weird. Kind of weird. But it definitely feels like, I could be wrong saying this, and it could just be me gaslighting myself throughout almost all the game. It definitely feels like the more stun they have, the faster it builds up. I could just be gaslighting myself into believing this though. But also he just does a massive nuke damage every with Lycon, it's probably like every 15, 20 seconds. He can hit almost, I think he probably hits like about almost 1 million with about 6. So he still does pretty damn good damage, regardless of teams, whatever. I mean, not regardless of teams, regardless of enemy types most time. Sure, the weaknesses help him a bit, but that's kind of it. Anyway, this is the 1.7 viability rankings for mono elements.